Kitchen with Thunder Bay, and today we're serving up something that'll tempt your taste buds with all the flavors of fall.
I wish you could smell it right now. Chef Mike Stigler is here with something that's now a special feature on the restaurant's dinner menu, and it's a maple and mustard glazed Arctic char with pan roasted butternut squash.
Yum!
Do you have to order it in the full name to be able to get it at your table?
Just come in and say char, and we'll know what you mean.
Char.
Give me the char.
The char.
I've never heard of char. It looks like a salmon, though, to me.
Yeah, it's similar to a salmon. It's of the salmon family. It's actually kind of, it has the characteristics of both salmon and trout.
Okay.
If you notice, I'm looking at the skin side here, you can tell it's got sort of that pink speckling to it. And that's not normally found on salmon, and it is kind of found on trout. But if you turn it over and look at the flesh side, it looks a lot like salmon on that side.
Does it taste like salmon?
No, it tastes nothing like salmon.
Are you just
don't be
saying
afraid.
that?
Yes, I'm just saying it.
Mike knows I don't like salmon.
It has a small amount of salmon flavor to it.
I'll have to take one for the team and taste it
So
today.
it's really good for you, though.
It is fantastically
salmon's one of the
good
biggest
for you. Yes, it is
superfoods.
loaded with nutritious elements. So
And you're keeping the scale or the skin on?
the skin is going to be kept on for this. Now, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the skin is edible. If you wanted to eat the skin, you could eat the skin.
Looks delicious.
Bears eat only the skin. They just tear the skin right off and eat that.
That's
But they're an
you look at me
animal.
like I'm kidding.
They're
but I'm
an
not,
animal.
But what we're going to do here is we're going to leave the skin on, and we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of mustard on the top side of this, and this is going to kind of help our seasonings to sort of stick to it a little bit. And rubbing a little bit of Dijon mustard on top of a fish is sort of a good trick that you can do at home. If you wanted to, you could put Parmesan breadcrumbs on a fish like this and bake it in the oven, and you get a really fantastic flavor. We've done that before too. But for this purpose here, we're going to put a little bit of barbecue seasoning on top of it. Now, our barbecue seasoning has paprika, a little bit of spicy chili, but it's not really a spicy dish. It has garlic, it has onion in there, it has salt, it has pepper.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, what you're trying to do is make a little bit of a crust on it so that when you put it in the pan and sear it, it can stand up to the high heat. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and move it on over to my saute pan over here. And I've got my saute pan going on sort of like a medium-high heat. I'm going to have one that I already started in here. And you can tell how when it starts to cook on the one side, on the bottom side like this, the skin starts to kind of lift up off of it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and flip this over, and then you can see what it looks like on that top side. Now, that top side gets a nice sear on it like that, and all those spices that were on there. It kind of looks like it's almost like a Cajun blackened almost, but it's really not. It's more like bronzed, I guess you would say. So we're going to go ahead. It's charred, like a char. Charred char. So we're going to go ahead and let that cook up a little bit. Then we're going to get into this butternut squash over here.
Okay.
Now, some people might be a little bit intimidated by this big old butternut squash.
I thought you were just supposed to paint those and put them on your front doorstep.
You can do that, if you wanted to, but believe it or not, they're actually edible.
Whoa, what?
You'll see a lot of them in the grocery stores right now and in the farmers markets.
Oh, so you chop off just the top and the bottom a little bit.
Don't be afraid of the big bad butternut squash.
Okay.
In Australia, they actually call these butternut pumpkins, but it's just a boring little side fact there. Okay. So what you want to do is go ahead and cut it down the long way. Now, this is going to be kind of a little bit firm. So
I always get my knife in there and then I pound it on the counter with the knife.
You can do that too.
Because I can't get it all the way through.
I don't want to vibrate us off the screen here. So you get down here, and then you got these delicious seeds in the middle. Now, don't waste the seeds because everybody likes to eat pumpkin seeds, but you can actually eat the seeds from your squash too.
Oh, okay.
They, do the same type of thing. Soak them in a little bit of salt water, season them up, and roast them in the oven. Now, some seeds might go flying here because this is a little bit.
Watch your eyes.
Already. So back off. We're really cooking here.
You are.
You want to scoop out all those inside pieces in there. Get any of that little fuzziness off that's right around on the inside there. Get all that down. And then it takes a couple minutes. I'm not going to have time to do the whole thing for you, but what you want to do from there is you take a regular peeler and go ahead and peel off all the top side.
It's a lot of work.
It is, but it's worth it.
Some people will bake it before, and then they say the skin will just like come right off.
Yeah, you can do that. For our purposes, we're going to do a little bit of a pan roast on it, so it's going to be a little bit different. So from there, you want to try and get off any of those little green spots that you see on top of there. Just like if you were peeling a melon, you don't want to leave any of the green spots on there. So you get it down to there, and then that right there is all usable.
When you open this up and you cut it open, Mike, is there a difference between one that's ripe and not ripe?
No, I mean, they're pretty much all, you want to look for a nice bright orange color, kind of like what we got going on there. So then from there, you'd go ahead and dice it up, and then if you want to blanch it in a little bit of water to kind of, a little bit of hot water, boiling water, sort of partially cook it, and then you get it into your saute pan with a little bit of oil and a little bit of red bell pepper, a little bit of red onion, and you kind of saute that all around like that, and you get those nice, delicious looking pieces like that are nice little squares, and you get a little bit of caramelization going on in there from the natural sugars that are in your butternut squash, and then you're just going to hit that with a little bit of salt and pepper. Once they get nice and caramelized like that, toss that all around, and then when they're just about finished, you're going to toss it with a little bit of fresh herbs. That way you get the sweetness, you get the you know, the freshness from the herbs. You get a little bit of the caramelization going on in there, and then we're pretty much ready to plate this guy up.
I'm going to let you go ahead and do that while we talk a little bit about the Thanksgiving Day buffet that you have, because on Thursday, November 27th, which is Thanksgiving Day, from 10 until 4, you're going to feature all the traditional holiday items. I'm sure you're going to have a great turkey. You'll probably have a great ham. You'll have a lot of great stuff.
How many turkeys will you make that day?
Oh, last year I think we made close to 500 pounds of turkey. So
that's a lot of turkey.
You have to make a reservation?
Yeah, I would definitely highly recommend making a reservation for that day. We're also going to be doing some takeaway that day, so if you want to have Thanksgiving dinner at home, but you don't want to do all the mess of it and everything, you can go ahead and call Thunder Bay, pick up the food hot, and we'll bring it out. Or actually, you can come and pick it up, and then you can have everything ready to go, just like that.
All right, I'm going to let Tiff read the phone number for making reservations for the Thanksgiving Day buffet while I taste this char.
All right, we put up the Thanksgiving Day buffet already. That's from 10 to 4, but here's where you can find Thunder Bay. They're in Pewaukee. How is it? Good? Phone number on your screen for reservations.
Maple.
262-523-4244. That's where you can find one.
Another bite of that.
Really good?
That is delicious.
Does it taste like salmon?
That's fantastic.
Better
I love
than salmon.
Thanks, Mike.
You eat, I'll eat.
All right, on